Hello everyone, my name is Braden. This is Airless Cool 9. In today's video we're going to talk about the horror subclasses document for Unearthed Arcana 2025. In this particular video we're going to be talking about the Hollow Warden Ranger subclass, which is entirely new. So yeah, a lot to talk about here. Some pretty interesting stuff, and we're going to talk about the subclass, and I'm going to give you my thoughts about it, and we're going to see whether or not it is good. So let's get to it. So the Hollow Warden Ranger, their tagline is "Draw on the magic of ancient wild terrors." Text says, "Legends tell that the most ancient and fearsome terrors lurk deep within the old places of the earth, unfathomable and bloodthirsty entities of fallow soil and sharpened claws. Hollow Wardens venerate and draw power from such beings, transforming themselves into similarly merciless and monstrous guardians that stalk along jagged coastlines, across steep mountain crags, and through other dark and wild places." So some pretty interesting stuff that they're talking about here. So let's take a look at what features they get. Starting off with Hollow Warden spells, which we would get at level 3. This says, whenever you reach a ranger level specified in the Hollow Warden spells table, you thereafter always have the listed spell prepared. In this table we see at level 3 we get Wrathful Smite, level 5 we get Spike Growth, level 9 we get Phantom Steed, level 13 we get Hallucinatory Terrain, and at level 17 we get Awaken. I think out of this list, Spike Growth is very good, Phantom Steed is very good, Hallucinatory Terrain is good, Wrathful Smite is even good. Awaken is it's not a bad spell, but it's not gonna really have any mechanical benefits at high levels of play, other than if you want to make a animal be able to talk to you. So I don't know. I'm not jiving with Awaken on this list, but that's really about it. I think Phantom Steed is pretty great, especially because that would give you some crazy movement on the battlefield. But yeah, that's the Hollow Warden spells table. That's really the only spell I would maybe like change with something else a little bit more applicable. But yeah, let's move on from here. Also at level 3, we get Wrath of the Wild. Wrath of the Wild says, you draw on the strange and ancient horrors of the land for power. When you cast Hunter's Mark, you transform, getting the following benefits for the duration of the spell. Okay, so this is active while we have concentration on Hunter's Mark. So, Ancient Armor. You gain a bonus to your AC equal to your Wisdom modifier. Your body is wreathed in rotten bark or beastly bristles. That's a pretty good benefit there. Unnerving Aura. When an enemy starts its turn within a 10-foot emanation originating from you, it makes a Wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, it can take either an action or a bonus action on this turn, not both. Your shadow lengthens and twists around you, or you sprout unnatural growths like bloody antlers or putrid fangs. Okay, so we got some pretty interesting benefits here. So both of these are going to be active whenever we cast Hunter's Mark, and as long as we are maintaining concentration on the spell, because that's what the feature seems to indicate. So honestly, getting a bonus to our AC equal to our Wisdom modifier is very nice, particularly because this does not state that we need to be unarmored or only wearing light armor or any restrictions of any nature on it. This is just a flat out bonus while we have Hunter's Mark active. So that's really cool. I really like that. Unnerving Aura is crazy good as well, because this really locks down the action economy of creatures. And since it's a 10-foot emanation, it's mainly for creatures within melee range, really. So creatures that are going to be hurting you potentially. So some pretty good benefits here right off the start. I think these are really, really good. The only thing that I see people being upset about is that these are only active when you cast Hunter's Mark and have Hunter's Mark active. So, but these are active whenever you do cast Hunter's Mark, and keep in mind that you do have free castings of Hunter's Mark as well. So you should be having these benefits pretty often as long as you are using Hunter's Mark actively in battle scenarios. These are going to be especially good in boss battles, I see. Particularly the Unnerving Aura, because if you are focusing on a boss in melee combat, that Unnerving Aura has the potential of locking down the action economy of a boss. So that's pretty cool. This is a very good feature, in my opinion. Some really good benefits there. Alright, at level 7, we get a feature called Hungering Might. So we gain a bonus to Constitution saving throws equal to our Wisdom modifier. Okay, now that's very good, particularly because Constitution saving throws are one of the more prevalent saving throws for spells. And I'm thinking as well, this is going to really help you maintain concentration on Hunter's Mark if you have that active. So that's a very, very nice benefit for this particular subclass. Alright, in addition, once per turn when you hit a creature with an attack roll while you are transformed using Wrath of the Wild, you regain a number of hit points equal to 1d10 plus your Wisdom modifier, provided you are bloodied when you hit. Okay, so that's not bad either. That's giving you a bonus to your Wrath of the Wild's feature. And I mean, as long as you are attacking people, or attacking on your turn, this is a benefit that you're going to get as long as you are bloodied. So, honestly, not a bad feature either. I feel like this has some pretty good benefits to it. Yeah, no real complaints here. Yeah, I kind of like this feature. I feel like it's doing some pretty good stuff. Especially with the bonus to Constitution saving throws. I think that is especially good. But the small hit point regain when you attack when you're bloodied is kind of nice as well. Give you a reason to have Wrath of the Wilds active. Level 11, Rot and Violence. Your dedication to Eldritch Forest beings alters you further. When transformed using Wrath of the Wilds, you gain the following additional benefits. Okay, so these are additional things that are going to be active using Wrath of the Wilds. Eerie Aura. When a creature fails its saving throw against your Unnerving Aura, it also takes necrotic, poison, or psychic damage, your choice, equal to your ranger level. Oh wow, which is going to be 11 at this point, so that's quite a bit. Oh, this damage ignores resistance as well, so that's pretty potent as well, depending on what you're fighting. It is very unlikely that a creature is going to have resistance to all 3 of these damage types. So that particular benefit I can see being pretty useful. It's also going to be nice because then you can kind of get an idea. The only way this is not going to be useful is if you activate this feature and then you learn that the creature is immune to the damage type that you chose. But since it's 3 different options there, you are able to cycle through those to determine which one is going to be helping you more. And since it ignores resistance as well, that's going to be useful regardless, potentially. So that's a pretty good benefit. All right, Strangling Roots. When you hit a creature with an attack roll using a weapon, you can activate the Sap or Slow mastery property in addition to a different mastery property you're using with that weapon. If I remember correctly, Slow reduces the target speed by 10 feet. And I want to say Sap makes the target have disadvantage on their next attack roll. I believe those are right. I would have to double check. But honestly, that is not a bad benefit because you're getting the mastery of your weapon in addition to one of those. And since you'll have multi-attack at this level, or extra attack at this particular level, you could do Sap on one strike and then Slow on the other, so you could gain the benefits of both of those in addition to whatever mastery you're currently using. So this is a great way to make use of those weapon masteries. Yeah, that's a pretty good benefit there, honestly. I think you're getting a lot out of that. That's going to be pretty good. So, yeah, I think that's a really good benefit. I think both of those are going to tack on pretty well to the Wrath of the Wilds. I only see one issue here, and we'll talk about it probably at the end of this video. Okay, finally, at level 15, so this is our capstone, we get Ancient Endurance. You become wholly suffused with the Horus Ancient Power, granting you the following benefits. Persistent Hunt. If you drop to 0 hit points while transformed using Wrath of the Wild, and don't die outright, you can expend a level 4 plus spell slot, no action required. Your hit points then instead change to an amount equal to 5 times the level of the spell slot expended. Oh. And there is no restriction to the amount of times that you could do that potentially. So that's honestly pretty great. Granted, you don't have a lot of high level spell slots, so you may only be doing this once, but you have the option of doing it more than once potentially. So I kind of like that. That's pretty good. And then you have the potential of regaining hit points with your level 7 feature as well. So those two work in tandem with each other. So honestly, that's pretty nice. I kind of like that a lot. Okay, and the final part of this is timeless. You have immunity to the exhaustion condition. Okay, so that's that's pretty good as well. This feels like a really powerful ranger subclass. I like it a lot. I don't want them to change any of this potentially. I don't think. So there is one thing that I noticed, and I will talk about it here at the end. But overall, based at what I see in all these particular features, I think these are all potentially good. I would change the level 17 spell, and I do like these features here. Okay, so there's one thing that I noticed, and it's that the majority of these features are all dependent on you having Hunter's Mark active. So I think that is going to turn quite a few people off to the subclass. However, I think if you're using the subclass, it is incentivizing you to use Hunter's Mark, which, depending on how you're looking at it, is good or bad. But I think for this particular subclass, it's a good benefit to be using Hunter's Mark as often as possible because you're going to be gaining all these benefits by doing so. And granted, it is a concentration spell, so there are ways for the Dungeon Master to take these benefits away from you, in which case you can just recast a spell. And that is going to be harder to get rid of at later levels as well, as long as you are getting to high levels as a ranger. Overall, I really like the flavor of the subclass, and I feel like it is especially strong. And I don't feel like it honestly needs any nerfs. I feel like you could release this as is, and it would be pretty awesome. I am curious to see what book they plan on releasing this in. But yeah, overall I don't really have any complaints. Other than the fact that they do require to use Hunter's Mark, I feel like that's gonna turn some people off. But I mean, if you're playing the subclass, you're gonna be wanting to cast Hunter's Mark all the time since you're gaining all these benefits. So yeah, overall, this seems like a really interesting subclass, and I would definitely want to play a Hollow Warden Ranger at some point in time, if as long as they release this, and I really think they should. But yeah, that's going to be it for this particular video, so thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments what you think of this particular subclass, because I am quite interested. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like that Ranger is so heavily focused on Hunter's Mark, and I understand why people don't like that. I'm not a huge fan of that. I feel like they could have added some additional features to make that a little bit easier to use for the Ranger, but that's entirely besides the point for this video. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one, because there are still some subclasses to talk about, so hopefully I get to those. But until then, I will catch you all in the next video. See you later.